infinity braid, diamond, pinwheel, coil, ruffles, the caged apple, and flower.
These were not the sizes I was expecting.
And we're back from all of the mistakes that were made last week. I was just coming out of a tattoo session, so I really wasn't thinking logically. I kind of just had the mindset of how many shortcuts can I take for this to still turn out okay? And obviously took a little too many shortcuts. For my next attempt, wanted to look at what went wrong. It was fine, you know, there were a lot of things that I can improve upon. I need to practice. Obviously I need to practice it, but I have limited amount of puff pastry left. We talked all about this pastry origami. Why not try on origami paper? The number one thing is the fact that it needs to be a square. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. I also thought to rank the difficulty levels of all of the puff pastry shapes. The easiest is the pinwheel, then ruffles, coil, flower, diamond, caged apple, and infinity braid. When it came to translating these pastry recipes onto literal origami paper, that's when things got a little bit interesting. Pinwheel, pretty easy, and it's not really origami because you are cutting into it. We're using the terminology very loosely here. Starts off as a perfect square, cut into it, but you leave the middle open, and then you fold one side. Ruffles crimped on top of itself. Once again, a perfect square. Cut it in half. Fold them like into thirds. And you got your little ruffles. Ooh. Coil. So the coil is really hard to translate onto paper. Slice as many slices as you want. Roll it up, and then you can coil it around and you're fine. But can't really do it with a piece of paper. The flower, if you made a fortune teller's but like wrong, so instead of like folding once in and then once out, you just fold it in twice, cut it into 8 sides, and then you just flip them open. Doesn't really look like much. This is like the moment when you're making paper snowflakes when you were a kid and you just make like the most boring one, even though you thought your cuts were like legit. Add your filling in here, fold it in, and then fold it in again, and then crimp it all together and then smush it down, which you can't really do with paper. Cut it open, and then you turn it out. The diamond with a perfect square, minimal effort, I was able to achieve this. If we remember the sad example that I had, diamond, RIP. There's like an oil stain. Where did that come from? That's gross. Fold it into a triangle, then snip out the sides there, open it up, turn it around, and then you just fold one down, and then you fold the other one over. And it looked great. And then the caged apple, I realized, I was like, what's the pattern? What's the pattern for the caged apple? 3, 4, 3, 4, and the 4 is cut at the edge, and 3 stay inside. You fold it into 6, and then the 3, you want to exclude the final section, and then you can just slice in instead of you having to carve out every single little one, which is what I tried doing the first time. The 4s, you actually turn it onto the other side. You slice out all of these except for the last tab, and then you slice the last tab. I don't know if that's going to work with the pastry. Another one of the world's most boring paper snowflakes. Infinity braid. This one was a tricky one. I messed up so many times, and I just have these like crumpled up pieces every single time I tried pulling it through. I was like, what is happening? Then I finally did it, but it looks weird on paper because you can't squash it down. The last time I did it, it was kind of a nightmare. Oh God, jam is spilling everywhere. Ah! Almost forgot about how to do the infinity braid on paper. You'll get 6 parts, and then when you cut them out, you'll get 5 strips. Easy part's done. Now we have to lift up 3 alternating tabs and then pass the furthest corner underneath all of these. This is where the hard part is, because I have no problem just passing it under this, but it's pulling out that I have a problem with. Pulling out is not very effective. It's really hard to, as you can see, once you get this corner through, which you can still identify, so you're just inverting it basically. Flip this one out. And there we go. It was just a blob a moment ago, and now it is a blob with a pattern. Look how beautiful that is. The other things that I'll improve upon, this time full effort. I'll brush them all with egg wash. The fillings were pretty bland. Viral baking videos, they don't really show you that much detail. It looks cool, but it ends up just tasting kind of mediocre. Oh, and the final thing, I want to make sure that the puff pastry stays cold, because that was the reason why my beautiful pinwheel turned into mush, basically ready to go. Already was set back by the fact that I couldn't roll them out to 12 by 12 or 8 by 8, so I had to roll them out 7 by 7, slice them into 3.3 by 3.3 squares. So let's start with the easiest one, the pinwheel. I had to roll it out this thin, and it used to be like this size. So like I said, I do have my ruler with me. They aren't perfect squares, but they're a lot better than last time. The pinwheel, we start off with our square and we're gonna fold it in, and I'm thinking that I am going to use some fillings that I prepared in advance. Raspberry jam, and I have some chocolates here and some of those pretty little sequin sprinkles. Slice the corners, bring it in. Wow, so much nicer looking than last time already, and the same amount of effort. Beautiful. This time it's not gonna slip off. Reese's Minis. Oh, that looks cute. Oh, I'm already having so much of a better time than last time. All ready to go. It is the next day. I'm feeling a little bit more motivated, not as many allergies hitting me. I still have the pinwheel in the fridge. Please defrost. It is bendable, not snapping. Try the ham coil. Inside the ham coil. Our baby ham coil. Twist. Slice in half. A nice little mixture. Sugar, cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, and a little cardamom. Just gently wiggle it down. Into the fridge it goes. Dollop. Fold this into the center. Flour still looks as gruesome as ever. I need to find like a really square one for my diamonds. Oh, ooh. This one's a pretty good one. Let's just do our little diamond. Cut in, pin it up, turn around. Still kind of ugly, but much easier than last time. Caged apple. way too warm again. Suffering. The infinity braid. Peanut butter, stickier potentially. So let's just fold it in half, origami style. Knife. One, two, three. Really don't know if this is gonna work. Oop. Gotta push it. Do, but certainly not working. Oop. Yep. Okay, that's not that bad. Like that. Let us take our victories where they come. Oop. Trim the sides off. So it kind of looks like it may be an Easter egg, you know? Who knows? Our hellish chocolate prison. Such an improvement from last time.